بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين صلى الله وسلم وبارك على عبده ورسوله نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. So we spoke about marriages, we spoke about divorce, we spoke about the iddah, the waiting period, and now we go on to what happens when a man dies. Usually the wife goes into mourning. She mourns her husband. And we would like to discuss some of the rulings of this because people usually have a lot of misconceptions. So it would be best to clear these misconceptions when possible. So the first hadith, hadith number 321, who would love to read it for us? Okay.
Zainab bin Salama, Radiallahu anha, reported that a relative of Habiba, may Allah be pleased with her, died. She sent for a yellow perfume and applied that to her forearm and said, I am doing it for I have heard Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam saying, it is not permissible for a woman believing in Allah and the hereafter to mourn beyond 3 days, except the husband for whom she can mourn for 4 months and 10 days.
Okay, very good. The second hadith is hadith 322. Yes, sir.
Narrated Atiyah radhiyallahu ta'ala anha said, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, no woman should mourn a deceased for more than 3 days except over husband. She should mourn him 4 months and 10 days. She must not wear a dyed dress except a dress sub. She shouldn't put eyeliner and must not wear perfumes except if she got pure from her menses. She may use a small amount of qust, a perfume women use, or tuf.
Okay, and the last hadith, hadith number 323, who would be kind to read it for us? Yes.
Narrated Salama, Radiallahu anha, may Allah be pleased with her. A woman came to Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam and said, Allah's Messenger, my daughter's husband has died and she is complaining from her eyes. Can you apply alcohol to it? Thereupon Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, no, repeating it twice or thrice, saying only no. And he said, this only 4 months and 10 days. In the pre-Islamic period, none of you threw away dung until 1 year had passed. Zainab said, when the husband of a woman died, she went into a hug, put on her worst clothes, and did not apply perfume or something like it until a year was over. And an animal like a donkey or a goat or a bird was brought to her and she rubbed herself with it. Usually, that one on which she rubbed herself with died. She then came out and she was given dung, and she threw it and she applied anything like perfume or something else as she liked.
Okay, now the hadiths we've heard and went through are related to what a woman whose husband had died should do. The first hadith, hadith of Habiba. Who's the father of Habiba? We have discussed this before. Habiba is the mother of the believers. She is the wife of the Prophet ﷺ, and I told you that she was the daughter of Abu Sufyan ibn Harb, which means that she's the sister of Muawiyah, may Allah be pleased with them all, and that she migrated to Abyssinia, and that the Prophet ﷺ proposed to her when she was in Abyssinia, and Najashi gave her in marriage and set her and prepared her and set her back to the Prophet ﷺ as his wife. So you have to either consult a doctor or try your level best to read more in the seerah of the Prophet ﷺ. You have no excuse to know everything that goes around you and not to know the most essential thing about your religion. At least your mothers, the mothers of the believers, may Allah be pleased with them. So when her father died, Abu Sufyan ibn Harb, may Allah be pleased with him, you know, when a father dies, the daughter feels like anyone else sad, and Islam permitted them to feel sad for 3 days and nights. And that is why on the 4th day she requested some perfume and she perfumed herself, put it on her arms. Why? She said, Wallahi, I don't want to use this perfume, but because I heard the Prophet ﷺ say that it is not permissible for a woman who believes in Allah on the Day of Judgment to mourn over a deceased more than 3 days, except for a wife that is widowed. So I am afraid that you will see me on the 4th day thinking that I'm still mourning my father. So I don't need a perfume, but I just put it so that I would give you a good example that I'm not mourning my father. And the hadith is clear that only for a husband, 4 months and 10 days is acceptable. The other hadith of Atiyah is the same thing. However, the difference is that it tells us that a woman should mourn her husband for 4 months and 10 days. And during the mourning period, during the iddah of death, there are things she is not permitted to do. What are they? One, she should not wear any ornamented dress dyed with nice colors. And when would a woman wear such a thing? Scholars said, by looking at this hadith and the following hadith, the hadith of Salama, that she should not wear a dress that is beautiful. And she should accept maybe something that is in black and white or does not have glamorous colors. She should not put an eyeliner, apply kuhl. You know what kuhl is? This special kind of stone that is crushed and then the women put it on inside their eyes. It's like an eyeliner. It's not a mascara for the eyelashes. It is something that's put on the same. Some men also wear it. Some men put it because it purifies your vision. It gives your eye more health. And it's something of medicine in sometimes. So this is not permissible for a woman to apply. She is not permitted to wear perfumes, except a very small amount that women apply when they are clean from their menses. So they apply a very little amount so that it will take out the bad odor. And the following hadith is the hadith of Salama, may Allah be pleased with her, where she said that a woman came to the Prophet ﷺ complaining that her daughter has been widowed and she's been crying and they want to apply kuhl, eyeliner, so that it would reduce the pain or something of that sort. And the Prophet said no, twice or 3 times. And then the Prophet said, indicating that the period of 4 months and 10 days is negligible still. He said, before Islam, the one of you, a woman, when her husband died, she would remain for a whole year. That's a long period. In a hut or a tent, not going out, not seeing sunlight, not bathing, not cleaning, not washing, nothing. And you can imagine the smell that comes out of you after 2 or 3 days of not showering. How about if it's a whole year? And then at the end of that, for the non-Muslims in the pre-Islamic era, once the year is over, they bring her a goat or a donkey or a bird where she rubs her stinking body with. And one of the narrators of hadith said, usually that bird or that animal dies because of the dirt of the stinkiness of staying there for a whole year. And then the woman holds a piece of dung, throwing it away, meaning that my mourning is over and the times of mourning the husband are over, and it's like good wish. So the Prophet is saying, I said that 4 months and 10 days is nothing compared to what you used to do. Looking back at what a woman should do and what a woman should not do when she is mourning her husband. First of all, the period, we've talked about that. Whether it's 4 months and 10 days, whether she's pregnant and delivers, we don't have to go through it, inshallah. Or you forgot it. You still remember it? Okay. We move on to what she's not allowed to do, because this is better than saying what she is allowed to do. Why? The things that she is not allowed to do are limited. The things that she is entitled to do are so many. So the Prophet said she should not wear a dyed dress, meaning, scholars say, she is not entitled to wear anything that beautifies her. So if a woman, her mourning period, she wears something that is beautiful, something that is for a soiree, a dress that is for going out and putting glamorous clothes, this is completely prohibited. Why? Because this goes against the mourning and it goes against the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. We have a short break. Stay tuned. Inshallah, we'll be right back. Assalamu alaikum and welcome back. So, she's not entitled to wear what? Beautiful and glamorous clothes that would call people to marry her. And she's not entitled to put eyeliners. As in the hadith, the kuhl. She's not allowed to apply the kuhl. Now, does kuhl be classified the only things not allowed to wear, or any kind of makeup? Definitely any kind of makeup, because kuhl is the minimal acceptable. So anything, she puts powders on. And women nowadays, mashallah, when you look at them, they put so much cosmetics on their face that she would add 2 or 3 kgs to her weight. They put foundation, and then they put paint, and then they put this and that. And you would find the woman's different. She doesn't look like who she really is. And they have these manicures. They put manicures on their nails. They prolong their nails like they're animals who are just eaten their prey, and you can blood out. What is this? And sisters say, oh, this is beauty. Well, I know beauty, but this is the beast. This is not beauty only. So, anyhow, is it haram? No, I'm not going to say it's haram. But doing it in excessive fashion, this is an imitation of the kuffar. Nevertheless, going back to our topic, a sister who is in the mourning due to death, a widow, she's not allowed to put any cosmetics, anything that beautifies her. She's not allowed to put perfume. She's in her house. She's not allowed to put perfume because this is a sign of happiness. One would say, Sheikh, what about if she's really happy that he died? Even though this is Allah's orders to her. Even if she's happy because he's dead. And sometimes, a lot of the women are happy. They could not get divorced, they could not get khul'. Alhamdulillah, he died. But yet still, she is not allowed to disobey Allah Azza wa Jal. Also, she must not leave the house for 4 months and 10 days. She has to be confined to her house. Because the Prophet told her, stay in your house. So she cannot go. Is this forever? Meaning for the 4 months and 10 days? Or are there exceptions? There are exceptions. If she, for example, works and cannot get time off work, she's a teacher, and the school would not give her a holiday to wait and anticipate for the 4 months and 10 days. Or, as in the case of the Prophet ﷺ, if a woman was in a farm and no one would take care of the crops, of the sheep, except her. If she doesn't go out, who will take care of it? In this case, it is permissible to go during the daytime, from morning till sunset. This is permissible because she needs to. She needs to do this. Likewise, if she has to go to the government offices to declare the inheritance or to submit deeds or something that deals with the death, no one can do this except her. The government says she has to come personally. This is halal. This is permissible. Likewise, if she has to go to a hospital for treatment, and this is permissible in the day and also in the night, because this is not something she needs. This is an emergency. So for necessities and for emergencies, even in the evening she can go. What else? A lot of the people think that a woman, when mourning her husband, she has to wear black. So in a lot of Arab countries, women wear black for 4 months and 10 days. And this is baseless. She can wear any color, white, black, blue. If a one mourning, she's wearing all the time red or pink. No, normal colors that do not show any glamour or any beauty, there is no problem in that. A lot of the misconceptions. Sisters in the mourning period do not answer phone, do not pick up the phone. Why? So no, your voice cannot be heard by any men. So, for example, her cousins may call. And this happens, this is not free mixing, but if they call or people call to say, may Allah Azza wa Jal forgive your disease and may Allah make him in Jannah, they don't reply. No, this is wrong. You can speak to mahram or non-mahram alike, because this is permissible for a normal woman and a woman in mourning. But what they're not permissible to do is to socialize and to laugh and be easy, too easy. This is forbidden. Among the things that people think that she must not go to the roof at night. Why? Because then the moon would see her. Excuse me? What happens if the moon sees, no, she's in mourning, haram. Why? People bring things from their pocket and they start to do haram and halal. There's nothing wrong in that. What about showering? Cleaning herself. She can take shower 3 times a day, no problem. She can eat. Can she eat anything or things that have a nice smell, like saffron or something with beautiful odor to it? She can eat anything. So she could live her normal life. What about if she gets in the morning or in the evening, her sisters, her nieces, her female cousins, yes. Yani relatives, they sit with her during the day and during the night, trying to cheer her up, trying to her happy. This is very good. Allah did not tell us that she should cry for months and 10 days. She could do whatever she wants, but she should not do the things that the Prophet ﷺ told us that she is not entitled to do. As for the hadith of Atiyah, it is the same thing. The eyeliner, applying the kuhul is not permissible. So, in remaining time, if you have any questions.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salam.
Sheikh, for many years I have heard this 4 months, 10 days, 4 months, but never got an opportunity. Now, alhamdulillah, I have this opportunity. But this 4 months, 10 days, is it the period, is it out of a certain biological need? What is the significance of this 4 months and 10 days mourning? And if the wife dies, do the husband also, there is some mourning period? Thank you.
Now, these are 2 questions. I'll make an exception, because usually we only take 1 question. The first question, why is 4 months and 10 days specified? A lot of scholars spoke and gave their opinions, but as mentioned before, these are only speculations. Can anyone say that this is the reason? Unless it's specified by the Quran and Sunnah, we cannot say this is the reason. The reason would be that in normal cases, that is, not when the woman is pregnant and then the husband dies. In normal cases, when the wife is not conceiving or not pregnant, in normal cases, the 4 months and 10 days are applied. Why? Some scholars say that hadith of Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, may Allah be pleased with him, where he said that the Prophet ﷺ told us that the creation of one of you in his mother's wombs is 40 days so, and 40 days alaqa, leech, and 40 days as a mudgha, morsel, and then the life is breathed into it. So they say that this is 40 days, 40 days, 40 days, how much? How many? 120, how many months? 4 months. So the 10 days is just to be sure. So the 4 months is when the creation of a life in the mother's womb and the spirit is breathed into it. So they say that this is why the mourning period is to make sure and to ensure that she has no pregnancy. But this is not 100% acceptable, because we know that 1 monthly period is enough to ensure that there is no pregnancy. So again, there is nothing concrete to rely on, except that this particular 4 months and 10 days is from Allah to His servants. So we have to embrace it and accept it as it is. So as for the second question, does the husband mourn if his wife dies? No. He can marry immediately afterwards. He doesn't have to wait for a day or 2 or 3. There is no mourning period for him. But of course, this doesn't mean that he doesn't feel sorry. He feels sorry for her loss, yet he has no restrictions from marrying again. Any questions?
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam.
Sheikh, in India, there's a tradition like the women wear some black beads and bangles. When the husband is died, the people break there and take off that thing. So what is it about?
This is not part of Islam at all. This is an innovation, and it can be also greater than that if it's the habit of other religions. So this is completely prohibited for Muslims to follow the traditions, the customs of other religions. We have only Islam to govern what we act and how we behave. Because other than that, maybe later on they would criminate the husband with his wife alive. And this is not part of Islam at all. Muslims follow the tradition of the Quran and the Sunnah. Anything specifically such as this related to mourning, to death, to marriages, and these are things that are governed by Islam, they should not follow that, and they should stick with the Quran and the Sunnah. This is